I want to thank everybody for coming here today and welcome. It's certainly a pleasure to see all the women's basketball players back here again. Always nice to see those faces. One thing I want to do before the introduction of Amy, I certainly want to thank the selection committee who did a great job during this search process. The search committee was made up of coaches, administrators, and student athletes. I think it was a great process. It was a process that got us to this day. And I also want to thank especially Stacy Hollinger, Assistant Athletic Director, who co-chaired the search, and Steve O'Day, who also was the other co-chair of the search. So thank you for your diligence and hard work in that process. Appreciate it very much. The search committee gets it down to a couple of names, and we sort of start narrowing the search. And one of the things that is typical in this process is you start calling around to people you know and trust in the business, and you ask for recommendations and ask what you know. And when I asked about Amy, there were some real common themes. Heard a lot about work ethic, loyalty, passion surrounding the game, knowledge of the game. And those things when she stepped on campus were really shining through. But I tell you, one other thing that came through very often as we spoke with different people, and as she was on campus even more, I heard a lot. Rising star. It was something that we heard a lot. And when you get a chance and an opportunity to talk with Amy, and you get a chance to meet her, you will understand what we're talking about. So without any further ado, Amy Sokaitis, the new head women's basketball coach at Lebanon Valley College. Welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it. That was quite the introduction. I appreciate that. I really feel very fortunate to be here. I can't thank Rick, his staff, and the committee enough. The girls have been great. I've had an opportunity to talk to almost all of them, and I've really enjoyed the confidence that they've shown in me already, and I'm excited to get going with the year and kind of get out on the recruiting trail. Lebanon Valley seems amazing. Everything from the first time I stepped on campus, people were so welcoming, and the family atmosphere. It's exactly what I've been looking for in a program, and I'm very excited to kind of get things going and enjoy the next few years here with these girls.
We'll open it up for questions if anybody has any questions.
Coach, you just talk about coming into a program that's had this kind of success and as your first head coaching job.
I think the first thing, and this actually came up the other day, is people talked about the pressure of it. Girls won 21 games last year, and how do you top that and how do you beat that kind of pressure? There's other coaches in this room, and I think they would all agree, nobody puts more pressure on coaches than the coach themselves. So the outside pressure doesn't concern me so much, but I'm a perfectionist and I would like to do great things. To me, that means going after a conference championship and getting into the NCAAs and really doing some work in that realm as well.
What did you think? What was it about Lebanon Valley that made you think it would be a good fit in addition to the success that the program has had?
The biggest thing is the college atmosphere and the size of the school. I went to a small high school and a small college, and this is something I knew was kind of what I've been looking for and in the environment I wanted to be in. So coming here and getting on campus and meeting everybody, and from the second I got here, as I said, but also going back, and yesterday I got more phone calls and emails from people on campus just introducing themselves and welcoming me, and that's the kind of environment that I was looking for.
Amy, can you talk about your life path, how you get from Alaska to Central Pennsylvania?
Yes. Well, it actually started before that. But my dad's a college basketball coach, so when I was 10 years old, we moved to Alaska. I did not want to go. It was going to be cold and dark, and I didn't want to be there. It turned out to be the best thing that ever happened for probably everybody in my family. We really enjoyed it. I was there for about 9 years. Decided to go to Colorado for school. Was in Colorado for 4 years. From there, I ended up with a great opportunity to be a volunteer assistant coach at Yale University for 2 years while completing my master's at University of New Haven. That kind of springboarded me into a job at Southern Connecticut because Megan Brown, the head coach at Southern, had previously been an assistant at Yale. So that connection worked out and kind of got my career going.
So talk about the influence of your dad and on your coaching career?
Tremendously influential. I have 2 older brothers, but I was the one that followed him, so they think that makes me his favorite, which probably does. No, when I was a little kid, I always knew I wanted to coach. I was 7 years old, and I decided this is what I wanted to do, and that hasn't wavered in 20 years, so I think I've been very fortunate. I've spent my life around the game. I've taught camps and clinics all over the country, and parts of Alaska no one's ever even heard of, little villages and towns. And I've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of different people. I've sat down with some tremendous coaches on the men's side and the women's side and just had dinner, and salt and pepper shakers came out, and we were working on X's and O's, and that's when I was like 12. So, those types of things, I was very fortunate to have that opportunity.
Can you talk about being at the D3 level as opposed to what you were used to before, and how you think that experience will go?
People talk about the level and the difference a lot. I don't think that there's that much of a difference. Basketball is basketball. The way you coach a student athlete and treat a student athlete shouldn't be different at any level. I understand the time commitment might be a little bit different, but the game itself hasn't changed, and I think you coach and you recruit to the highest possible potential.